What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am back again for another video as we do a preview of our game against Bristol City on Wednesday night, of course. Now, obviously, we will be going through the same procedure of obviously going through the opposition first, and then I'll talk a bit about us, of course, as well. But yeah, if you do like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and comment your thoughts on this game. How do you think it will go? Post your score predictions in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. So yeah, let's talk about Bristol and obviously our opponents on Wednesday. It's going to be tough. It really is going to be tough. Obviously, Bristol have won 2, drawn 2, and lost 2, which is a mixed bag, isn't it? Really, in terms of the results. But they've done a lot better than us, that's for sure. Obviously, they have 8 points at the moment, and they sit in 9th place respectively. So they've started the season very, very strongly, and it is going to be difficult, this, especially at Ashton Gate, where that is a place that we've never really liked to go either over the years. I don't really remember a good game from us, really. And yeah, it's always a tricky place to go. So it will be interesting to see what happens, but I'm not feeling that confident, unfortunately, ahead of this one. I really aren't. So they're coming, we're coming to the back of it of a 2-2 draw, obviously, after throwing away a lead, as we know. We've already spoken about that in the previous video, so I'm not going to get into it again. But yeah, very, very disappointing from our perspective, throwing away that 2-goal lead. Obviously, they're coming into this in the back of a 3-3 draw with Blackpool, which was an absolute thrill of a game, wasn't it? But it is one of those. They still got a solid point, and yeah, it was decent for them. Obviously, their manager is Nigel Pearson, a very experienced manager, isn't he? He really is. He'll be looking to obviously improve on from last season. Obviously, finishing 17th, respectively. I think, to be honest with you, the team of Bristol side should really be, finishing higher than that, but they did have a really poor season, and they did really struggle defensively, which they seem to have really improved upon this season, actually. Obviously, getting a few additions into the squad, like Naismith, who obviously played a pivotal part in Luton's promotion push last season. But yeah, it's going to be, it's going to be a very tricky game. I've picked out a few players for them that we should look out for on Wednesday, of course. A new name, actually, that I've picked out first is Tommy Conway. Now, obviously, anybody that's not familiar with him, who haven't watched Bristol that much this season, obviously he's a guy that's come through the ranks at Bristol, and, he's got his opportunity properly in the first team now. Obviously, the clubs seem to think that he's ready to do that step, and he's proven that he's ready, actually, because of his stats, of course. He's played, 6 times in the Championship this season, which is pretty much all the game. I think we've only played 6, 7 in this so far. So he's played in all of the games. And yeah, like I say, he's scored 3 goals and got 1 assist as well as getting 2 goals in the Carabao Cup, of course, and 1 assist as well in there. So yeah, he started off the season very strongly. Obviously, he deploys on the right of that front 3 that Bristol like to play. So yeah, he's a really dangerous player that we need to look out for. Obviously, new on the scene, we don't really know what to expect from him. But yeah, we need to be keeping an eye on him, especially with our defensive issues at the moment. I think that we're gonna have to make sure that we do really up our game defensively soon, because we just can't continue like this. But we are speaking about Bristol, and I will get into us very shortly. So yeah, that's how my first number 1 player that we look out for is Tommy Conway. Second player that I've picked out is Veyman. Obviously, we know him very well. Obviously, he's a familiar name for sure. Played against him last season. He's played 6 times in the Championship as well. He's obviously scored 3 goals and assisted 2. In the cup, he's played once and obviously scored one. He's a very tricky player to come up against. He really is, to be honest with you. He's obviously that guy that's down the middle for them in the front three. So obviously the centre forward of the role he plays. Yeah, he's always dangerous, isn't he? He's always a tricky customer, like I said, to face, and we're going to have to really be careful here because if we give him a chance, he'll probably score it. So it is one of those. He's going to be a threat, and he's going to cause problems all night. There's no doubt about that. So that is another player that I have actually gone with to look out for. And of course, thirdly, a very, very familiar face to us Huddersfield Town fans is Nahki Wells. Obviously, Nahki Wells is at Bristol City. So he played a good period of time for us and scored lots of goals for us. Like I said, it seems to be that ex-players love to score against us, i.e. Daniel Sanani, who managed to score against us and made a big impact in that game when we played Norwich. So I wouldn't be surprised if he scores in this one because it just seems to be the way when we, like I said, when we come against ex-players of ours. So yeah, he's always a tricky player to come up against. Though he's always on the move, always looking to create something, always looking to get on the score sheet as well. Which he's managed to score one this season so far. Played in 5 matches in the Championship, and he's assisted on 2 occasions in the Cup. Obviously, he is deployed on the right of the 3, so of the 3 attacking players that Bristol like to play. So yeah, he's going to be It's going to be a challenge to keep these players that I've mentioned quiet, but we have to believe in ourselves here, and something has to change, and yeah, it's going to be tricky though for sure. Like I said about a million times, I realise that, but it is. It's going to be a difficult game for us. I've picked up one player in the defence for them, obviously Kai Naismith. Obviously, we know him very well. Played a massive, part in obviously Luton's promotion push last season. He's managed to assist this time, but he's been deployed in the middle, the central centre back of a 3. So yeah, he's not really in the team to do that kind of creating chances. He's there to do his defensive work mostly. But yeah, and then obviously Bristol City's captain is David Bentley, who is the goalkeeper for Bristol. Who I think he's always been a solid. I think I have seen him. He's been a really solid keeper, to be honest with you. He's reliable, and yeah, I think we're gonna have to. You have to get the strike spot on to beat him. Put it that way. I think he's a really good keeper, to be honest with you. But yeah, that is kind of my stance on Bristol and how I see them. Obviously, they'll be looking to push on this season and get into the playoffs, which obviously, they are up there at the moment in 9th place, and like I say, not far off them playoffs spots. Obviously, it's still very, very early days, so you can't really judge the table too early. It's too early to say where they'll finish, but they've certainly started the season a lot better than us, like I said, and they've started the season strongly. And they're only 1 point off the playoff spots. So yeah, it's going to be tricky, but for them. But I think that there's no reason why they can't be up there challenging, especially with the squad they've got. So yeah, moving on to us then, obviously, I just think this is going to be a game that we need to be winning, because after obviously dropping points at the weekend against West Brom, from that position we were in at 2-0 up, the pressure's even more heightened down this one, in my opinion. I think that we are in a very precarious position at the bottom end of the table. Second bottom at the moment with 4 points. It's just not good enough, is it really, for our standards, if I'm honest with you. We obviously was up there last season in 3rd, and you could argue that obviously we have lost players, which we have, but I still don't think we should have seen the demise that we have. I think it's the manner of the defeats that we've had as well, by the way, so far this season, and also we've just let ourselves down massively throughout, in these opening 5 games that we've played. Obviously 6 for the others, but we're still playing catch up because of obviously the Coventry City game being postponed. But yeah, I mean, getting into this game then, I mean, it is going to be difficult. There's no question about that. But we have to be picking up results and soon, because this just can't continue. I mean, obviously, I believe we have got Lees back in the squad for this game, which I would bring him straight back in. Like I said, no kind of complaints about Edmonds Green in the last game, apart from the goals. But I think that he played decent, throughout. He just, like I say, you can't just blame one player, can you? But I just think Edmonds Green obviously did take Lee's place in the last game, so I think that Lees will come back in again and take his place again. So yeah, my starting lineup for this one, obviously Lee Nichols in goal. I'd play 3-4-2-1, by the way, so I'm going to go Ollie Turton, and obviously in the middle, Tom Lees, and then Yuta Nakayama as well on the left. Then I'd obviously put Hayden with Hogg, hopefully if Hogg's fit. I think that he did have a groin injury, so it could keep him out of this one as well. If Hogg isn't fit, I'd put Kamara in. I'd put Kamara in that central midfield role alongside Jack Redone. And yeah, Josh Ruffles, I think, we know that he's struggling at the moment, but I don't really know who else will come in and do a job for us. That's the problem at the moment. So I'd probably have to stick with Ruffles on that left-hand side. And then obviously the front three, Tino Andrin obviously definitely starts for me. Obviously the impact he made in the last game was so impressive. Now, I don't know. I think I'd probably start with Ward for this one. I think that Rose will come on at some point again. And then I would play Sorba Thomas as well on the left. So yeah, that is my team lineup for the game. How do I see this game going? Like I said, I'm not confident at all going into this one, to be honest with you. I don't see us winning the game. I really don't. I think that, Bristol start the season strongly and they are a tough team to come up against, and we are struggling, let's be honest with you. After the Stoke game we played, obviously we won that game, our first win of the season. We haven't managed to follow that up as of yet, and that's the concern for me. It really is. We got that win against Stoke, like I say, and I was hoping that we'd push on, but we haven't. And obviously we did face Norwich, after that game, which was a difficult test, always going to Carrow Road. But then I think obviously the game against West Brom, obviously another strong team though as well, isn't it really? So, but the position was in, we should have won that game. We all know that. I've said it about a million times anyway. But so yeah, we haven't managed to follow up that first win, really, and that's the disappointing thing. And my scoreline, I think that I have to. I always like to back us to win, but like I said earlier, I don't really fancy us in this game. I really don't. I think that they'll just have too much for us, to be honest with you. And especially with our defence leaking goals, we still really are struggling in that department. And for that reason, I have to go with a Bristol win, I'm afraid. I think that Bristol will win, and I think I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Bristol. I think that they'll obviously score first, and then they'll double the lead, and then we'll just get a consolation. But yeah, that is kind of my thoughts on this one. I mean, obviously Danny Schofield is becoming seriously under pressure as the longer this goes on, in my opinion. I know he got his first win at Stoke, like I said earlier, but I just think it's the manner of the performances that we're putting out at the moment. Obviously against Norwich, as good as Norwich are, we didn't really impose ourselves enough in that game, and tactically, you've got to question it. Obviously, again, questionable things on Saturday as well against West Brom. The substitutions were strange for me. We shouldn't have sat back at 2-0. We should have kept going and tried to get that third goal, but we didn't. So yeah, I love Schofield, don't get me wrong, but this is a results business, and if you don't pick up results, you're gonna be under pressure. And I just think if this continues over the next few games, then I don't know if the right decision would be to maybe, to part ways with him. And I know it's early days, but I just have a lot of questions really about whether he's able to do it. Like I said, don't get me wrong, I think he was thrown in the deep end, to be honest with you. I don't think he was ever ready for this kind of job, the big task of this job. I think sometimes managers have to start further down and build themselves up. You can't really, go straight into a championship team and expect to be okay, because it's difficult. You have to build your experience in that managerial position first before you maybe, get your move to a championship club. But that's just my opinion. Time will tell on what happens there. Obviously, I want Schofield to do well, of course I do, but I just don't know if he's quite there at the moment, and yeah, it's a tricky topic, isn't it, to speak about really, because I love Schofield, and he's got the club at heart because obviously he's played for us, and he's been around the players for years now, obviously in the coaching setup somewhere, and yeah, he's a great guy. He seems a really nice guy, but we need to be seeing results on the pitch, and winning one and drawing one out of 5 games. It has been such a shocking start. So yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. Finally, before I go, obviously I did actually not mention, I was so engrossed in the result on Saturday that I actually forgot to mention about our king, our legend, our icon coming home to the John Smith Stadium, David Wagner, who obviously, came out onto the pitch at half-time, and, he got the standing ovation he deserved. Actually made me quite emotional because, what that guy did for our club, we'll never ever forget it. Getting us to the Premier League was absolutely incredible. It was a dream come true. He made the team unbeatable and difficult to play against, and he achieved the impossible dream. He did, and it was great to have him around the place. The atmosphere on Saturday, by the way, was outstanding. It really did give the crowd a boost. Knowing that obviously he was in the stands with us. So yeah, it was fantastic to see him back, of course, and he's always welcome back in Huddersfield. Let's be honest, he is more than welcome anytime. But yeah, I just thought I'd add that in because obviously I did forget to mention it on Saturday. Like I said, I was very, very frustrated about the results, so that's why I probably forgot. But yeah, obviously the reception he got as well was really impressive, and yeah, I think the crowd was, like I said, the crowd was impressive on Saturday too. I think that, we did outbeat in the stands and it was very loud, but it was just another game ending frustration. But yeah, that is it from me, guys. That is my preview of the Bristol City game. If you do like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts below. What do you think the score is going to be in this match? And also, what are your thoughts, obviously, on Schofield so far? And do you think he should continue, or do you think it's time to part ways already? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on anything that I've discussed in today's episode. So yeah, you can find me on my socials on Twitter and Instagram at HTFTV8. So please go and give me a follow on those. Yeah, hit the notification bell as well on YouTube on my channel, and you will never miss an upload. But yeah, have a good rest of the week, guys. Fingers crossed for Wednesday. Hopefully I'm proved wrong. Obviously I did predict us to lose, but I just don't see how we're going to be able to, especially away from home as well. Put it this way, I'd take a point now, but yeah, I don't know. I think they'll just have too much for us. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the week. Safe travels to everyone that is making the trip to Bristol on Wednesday. Sadly, I am not going to be there, but yeah, I obviously will be doing another video very, very soon. Not sure when. It may probably be on Friday. Friday or Saturday will be my next video, where I will obviously review the Bristol game, and I will look ahead to our next home game, which is against Blackpool, of course, on Sunday. So yeah, take care over there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.